Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. I hope that you're good. So I'm recording today a video for the 1111 portal. I'm making it on the 10th of November 2021, my time. But I would like you to understand that you can watch this video at any time, whether it's now, whether it's in a month's time, whether it's in a year's time. The teaching and the light and the healing that is offered in this particular video is going to be completely and utterly timeless. Okay, we are going to do some follow-up teaching to yesterday's video that I put out, because this video and that video is completely linked, because this particular 1111 energy it feels even more dualistic than ever. But I say that in relation to the fact that that's a good thing, because it's as though we are now clearly being able to see what is light, what is dark, and one of the activations in the portal walkthrough meditation that I do later in this video will be about helping you to see that more clearly, but equally from a very protected place. And I'm going to explain more about that in a moment. Thank you to all of the people that did watch the Travis Scott video that I put out yesterday. I think it's my most watched video ever in a 24-hour period. It's hitting 30,000 views and it hasn't even been up 24 hours as I record this. I was asked to record that for a very specific purpose, and I struggled with it initially, but now sitting down here today, I realise how important it was to look at it. And indeed, we couldn't be here doing this video if we hadn't done that work yesterday. So let's first off just get ready for today's teaching and healing. I'd like to light the candles with you because it feels symbolic. And the candles that I've chosen have a meaning as well. So this one is beeswax. Okay, it's actually a beeswax candle. And if we think about the symbolism of the bee, it links us into the energy of Christ. It also links us into the energy of joy. In my own deck of cards that I've got, the bee is on the yellow card, which is linked into joy and happiness. So we are going to be looking at both energies today, the light and the dark, but obviously the ascension path that we are on is very much linked into growing light on our planet. So that's firstly just a nod to the Christ light that is here, also protecting us. Let's put that over there. I've also got this candle, it's more the candle holder here. This is Kyanite, and I'm being told that Kyanite is a very useful crystal for us right now, because it helps to heighten our intuition. It helps to stimulate our third eye. It helps to power up all of our intuitive abilities. And it feels as though that's almost like a prayer for all of us in crystal form, to bring down the highest light available today. And then I'm also going to light the Metatron attunement and connection candle. These aren't on sale, they link into a course that I run. But as I light it, I was just thinking it could be a nice idea next year to maybe do some candles for 1111. And I might look at that, okay, which are just very specific to this date. But anyway, this is pretty good for today, just connecting into Metatron as well. So we've got our 3 lights, 3 candles lit. The other crystal that I'm going to be working with today predominantly is clear quartz, smoky quartz, and selenite. Okay, so clear quartz, smoky quartz, and selenite. I'm very drawn to just working with the white ray in the meditation later, but I mean it might change by the time I get to it, but that's what I'm feeling right now. Okay, let's firstly then get into a little bit of the teaching. What I've written down here on a piece of paper is this. This is what I'm being told by Metatron, and I've never been told it so late to the table, as it were, you know. I was struggling to know what we were meant to be doing for 11/11 until literally a few hours ago. So, you know, in some parts of the world, it nearly is 11/11. I'm aware of that as I'm recording this. It feels as though it's a very protected gateway today, and almost as though the information on it and the downloads linked to it didn't want to be released too early. What I've written down is that this gateway is about balancing the light and the dark. I've written dark grows where the light is not. And if we are not prepared to look at it, the darkness, we will never conquer it within ourselves and also as a species on this planet. There is a new painting on my wall, which I'll just show you briefly, because it's part of this whole energy that we're looking at today. Let's just get it down. This is a painting that is going to be in the new Christ Consciousness deck. It's been painted by Jane Delaford Taylor, and Metatron kept calling my attention to it. You might say, well, why was Christ not calling your attention to it? Well, he was as well. It's just that for me, this 11/11 gateway is very much centered around the Metatron energy, because Metatron's about the number 11. If you followed me for previous years, you understand that. But anyway, he kept saying, go and get this painting. And what it depicts is a lady, but it could be you, could be me. If you're a male, imagine it's you as well. You have a feminine aspect to you. And it shows that she's quite comfortable looking at the light. She's quite comfortable looking at the light. The eye is completely there. I'm okay with looking at that. I'm okay with looking at that. That is comfortable for me. That is acceptable for me. That is in line with what I understand about the world. That backs up how I view the world. I'm okay with that. But you can see that what is happening is that this veil is being taken off her second eye. And this is about, it's safe to look into the darkness. You'll see on this side of the picture, and it is very dualistic in terms of its colours. On this side of the picture, we have the angel feather in the darkness, okay? So it's very much a nod to the fact that when you're asked to look at more uncomfortable truths, maybe about yourself, but also maybe about society, and we're all going to be going through that soon, if you haven't been already. We never, ever have to do it alone. The angels are always with us, trying to help us to truly see the nature and the reality of our world, okay? And the nature of our world is very dualistic at this moment in time, always has been. But what we're being offered here with this gateway, I believe, is to completely take off this part of the mask, fabric, whatever you want to call it, which is shielding us. It's almost as though for some, and I understand it, we've put up a level of protection because we don't want to look. We don't truly want to look. But I think if you're at the level that I know you're at, if you're watching me and you're doing this work and you're in the energy of Metatron, the truth is you are ready to truly see the reality of yourself, of others, and of this world. But you never do it from a place which is unprotected, okay? So I'm going to put this painting just back up on the wall for a moment, but know that that's supporting us in this video. It's very beautiful, isn't it? So I've also drawn this for you. My art and Jane's art is not quite in the same league. Now let's be serious for a moment. This is serious stuff. Although actually it is important to lighten and keep your humour is very important as we travel on together on this journey. You know, if you lose your sense of humour and your ability to laugh, you know, it's going to be much more difficult. So I don't apologise for having a laugh in my videos. This is what Metatron showed me today. And this, before I say this, it's on the back of some comments that came in, linked into the Travis Scott video that I did yesterday. But I'm not calling anybody out because some of the comments reflected my own journey over the last couple of days. So as an example, what happened at that concert, I believe, was a demonic energy was there, okay? Certainly, you know, a dark energy was there, was conjured there. And at the start of the week, when I heard about it, Metatron's always asked me to be what he calls a first responder. Now, I can't always be a first responder for every horrible thing that happens in the world, but usually for key events which has affected millions of people, because there are many people that have been affected by this story, he asks me if I can and if I've got the energy to step up and say something. And then I started to get requests to do so. And there was a part of me that was also reflected in some of the comments that came in before I did it, which was, I don't really want to do that, because if I look at that, I'm somehow going to affect my light and my frequency and my vibration. And I've got to keep it high because it is 11/11 week and we're going to be walking through this portal of light together. So I can't look at that because that's somehow going to lower my energy. I soon was corrected on that by Metatron, okay? I mean, my higher self knew as well. It was just a process that I had to work through. And this is now, if I explain what I've drawn here, because this is what Metatron's asking me to explain to you, is that when we're in that state, this represents here, what I'm trying to represent is a lake. The lake is the human collective. The lake is the collective consciousness. And what we understand about the ascension path and the ascension journey is that what has been hidden and what is dark is starting to float to the surface. It's starting to float to the surface of the collective lake that we all share, which is our world, okay? So as more light comes into our planet, whether it be through downloads, solar flares, Mother Earth doing her bit, us doing our bit, the planet ascending, we are starting to see more and more in your face what's actually always been going on behind closed doors, okay? And it's sort of, what I was shown is it sort of then sits on the top, a bit like, you know, crud that rises to the top of water. It just sits there waiting for somebody, i.e. a light worker or light worker energy, to come in and be able to zap it and transmute it. We had the analogy of cloud busting yesterday in the Travis Scott video, that when a dark cloud gathers, whether this has been summoned or not, or whether it's naturally come up because of the collective frequency that is rising, the end result is the same. We have these blobs, basically, these, I just want to call it blobs of dark matter that are there. And it's like, unless we're willing to look at it, how can you transmute anything if you don't even know it's there? That's the point. How can you transmute anything if you don't actually know it's there? So we have to be brave enough to face it, but we also have to be strong enough in our conviction to realize that when we do that, assuming that we obviously have spiritual hygiene, as Metatron called it yesterday, and our spiritual armor on and our protection on, which is also within us, it's the state of being that realizes that the light is always stronger than the dark. So therefore, why are you frightened of looking at it? Why do you think that's going to lower your frequency just by looking at it? It can't. And what it desperately needs is enough of us to be brave enough to face it. I think the ones that particularly are brave enough to face it are also the ones that are brave enough to face their own shadows within their self. As above, so below, as within, so without. It's that law, basically. I will just say at this outset that what I'm not saying here is if you've gone through a really bad time in life, you know, I don't know, maybe you're bereaved, you're ill, you're depressed, whatever. It doesn't mean that every single negative thing that happens in our world, you have to leap up and, you know, spring to attention. It's more when it's in your face, when it is just very evident that there's a job to be done, basically, okay? So never deplete your own tank, you know, is what I'm really saying. You have to have enough energy within you and light within you. And I've talked many times about the fact that we pass the batons continuously as light workers. But as long as enough of us have got the baton in our hand at some point, when a big thing happens in our world, then it's going to be okay because this gets transmuted. But this is what I was shown was happening with me, with my energy the last few days when I didn't want to look at that stuff, or I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to do the video because it would affect this one, not realizing that I couldn't do this video until I'd done that one because it's light and dark. These are some of the shadow aspects that come up. So we've got all this darkness that's over here, but a light worker, for example, might be wanting to separate themselves from that. It's just like, no, I'm just going to stay here, shining my light here. Well, it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that darkness grows where the light is not. If you can't take your light into the darkness, then we're not going to be able to illuminate it. So some of the things that I've written down here is that we may have the energy coming up within us of, I don't want to get my hands dirty. I don't want to get my hands dirty, which was sort of what I was feeling this week. It's like, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to get my hands dirty. I just want to stay pure and clean, you know, and of the light, and then I can do my light work. And it was like, no, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you've got to get your hands in the dirt. And then what you do is, of course, you wash it off. The dirt hasn't stained the hands, you know, the hands are intact because you're not going into it alone anyway. You know there's nothing to fear. There's nothing really toxic in that soil that you've got your hands in because it can't touch you because you're in a bubble of light, you're protected. The other thing that can come up is, it's not my business. It's not my business, you know, it's not my business to do that. To which Metatron, and he is being quite firm with us here, he's saying, well, whose business is it? Whose business is it? It's a bit like when tragedy strikes in our lives. And sometimes you've probably heard people say, well, why has this happened to me? Why has this happened to me? And what Metatron has always taught me with regard to that is, if it wasn't you, who would you like it to be instead? You know, it's this whole thing about, it's not my business, so it can be somebody else's. In a collective consciousness, that's not the way that we operate. It's as though everybody has their bit of the jigsaw that they need to be healing, working on, etc. The other thing that I've written down here is, which ties into it's not my business, is someone else will do it. Someone else will do it. You know, yeah, that's a bit yucky over there. That's probably does need healing, but I'm not even going to look at it. Someone else will do that. Because I just want to stand here shining my light. You know, I want to stand here polishing my halo. We're all guilty of this sometimes, okay? I want to just stand here polishing my halo. There's like Metron saying, nah, well, who else do you think's going to do it? If not you, who? If not you, who? You're a light worker. A lot of the people, I mean, a huge part of our consciousness, collective consciousness at the moment, is still unawakened. They can't do it. They can't do it. They can't do it because they're not even necessarily seeing the duality in their midst. So if, you know, it's not about somebody else always doing it. Sometimes we have to do it. And then this other one, which I've explained about, I don't want it to affect my vibration. The truth is, my friends, and this again, it's something I'm learning with you, I'm not lecturing people. I'm learning this stuff with you. I don't want it to affect my vibration. I want to stay high. You go higher when you're able to go deeper. It's the truth. Think about it in terms of your own your own body, your own problems, your own issues, your own challenges. When you're able to truly face your issues, your patterns, your addictions, and you grapple with them, and sometimes it can be grappling with them. But remember, light always triumphs. If we're brave enough to look at something and we call in the help, whether that be Jesus, Metatron, the angels, God himself, your higher self, light wins. Light wins in the collective, light wins in you. Okay? So this thing about I don't want it to affect my vibration is inaccurate, because the deeper you go, the higher you can go. There is a proviso with this. That doesn't mean, as I say, that you've got to go gung-ho into every single situation out there. That's not what I'm saying. It's more that trust when you're called. Trust when you're called. So as an example, Metatron called me this week to look at the whole situation with Travis Scott and what happened there. And I did eventually trust it, because I trust his energy. I knew it needed to be looked at. But that's just one example. But what I'm not now going to do is basically go wading through newspapers and, tuning in the radio for what's the next thing that you want me to go into. And it doesn't work like that. It's like when it's in your face, when you've been called to look at it. And the truth is that if you're in a community and that community does bring something up and it brings it consistently up, okay, that's the call. So for me, I already knew I was probably going to have to do that video, and I wrestled with it overnight, and then I woke up to 3 messages. It's clear as day. But you don't have to be on a YouTube channel or be me. It's the same with you. If somebody brings a piece of information to you and, they're scratching their head and they're not understanding it, or, I don't know, something comes into your awareness. Maybe it's a story linked into war or poverty or whatever, And again, you keep getting the message, or you keep being shown it. It's because your light is needed there. So Metatron says it's not about then looking around in terms of, all right, who's going to go and help with that? I've spotted that problem. Which one of you? No. It's us, okay? It's us that's being asked to do that. But remember the balance. Yes, you have to have your tank filled up and be okay. You're not being asked to go in when you're unwell or you're going through some terrible tragedy in your own life or whatever. Pass the baton, remember, okay? But look out for the signs. The other thing that's coming up hugely around this 1111 gateway, the fifth excuse, let's put it that way, the fifth excuse is I don't want to accept and I don't want to acknowledge it. It's just like, I want to just bypass that, thank you very much. And again, because I understand signs and I understand the way it works, overnight there've been a few comments come in from nowhere linking into the work I did with Madeleine McCann. And it's like, no, you're wrong. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter whether I'm right or wrong. It's not about me. It's more to do with, no, I can't accept that could be the case. I can't accept that could be the case. I can't accept that is the case about this person or that person. Take it away from that example of Madeleine now, although she is a good one. I can't accept that could be true. Well, walking through this gateway, this 1111, feels as though it gives us what Metatron is saying, the strength and the stamina and the stomach, the 3 S's, strength, stamina, and stomach. I'm going to write those 3 down. To be able to truly see, take off the blindfold, then now I can see reality. When you can see reality in your life and in the collective, that's when it starts to change. Okay? Something in this strength, stamina, and stomach. Because I mentioned, those of you that follow me on my other social media, Facebook and Instagram, I think I put up a video where I was saying that I had experienced physical, my body giving me physical signs that I'm realising now was all linked into strength, stamina and stomach. Stomach is an obvious one. So solar plexus, okay, our power center being powered up, okay, stepping more into our divine light, stepping more into our wisdom, stepping more into the gold ray. The gold ray is highly protective, highly protective. You are always safe within the gold ray. Invoke the gold ray whenever you don't feel safe, okay? So that's stomach. But it's equally, you know, being shown quite a graphic example here now, but it's literally like, it's like letting out the bile, letting out it's like having a good clear out of the stomach, you know, it's like the digestive juices. What can we no longer put up with? What can we no longer ingest? What can we no longer process? Okay, are we ready for a lighter diet? Probably in all senses of the word. A lighter diet, not just in terms of food, but in terms of frequencies. Must say something here before I forget it, as I've just mentioned that word frequency. It goes back to my last video, Travis Scott. One thing I hadn't appreciated, but I do know now, I now know because people have told me, and I've seen some of the video footage, is that apparently at that concert, before it even began, they were broadcasting a frequency signal for hours, which was very discordant. There was a very discordant energy, frequency. Sound affects people, okay? Sound can put you off balance, but sound can also put you back into balance. So remember, for anything that the dark throws at us or at the collective, there is always a remedy belonging to the same realm or sphere. So for example, if you've been fed a frequency, a sound frequency that is discordant or negative, you correct it with a sound frequency that is healing. And here I'm being shown I must just show you something. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Look at this. This is even more beautiful. It's 11:22 as I show you this. Because at 11:11 yesterday, I can't make this stuff up. I hope I've still got the picture. At 11:11 yesterday, my younger daughter, she is a crystal child. She didn't know I was even doing the Travis Scott video at this point, okay? She sent me a screenshot of at 11:11. Can you see what she screenshot? I didn't even know that she listened to this stuff. It is a Jason Stevenson chakra, raise your vibration, Jason Stevenson video. You can find them very, very easily. But she knew, it's like she was tapped into the collective consciousness that they had been fed this discordant sound, but there was a remedy to it. So the remedy is in whether it's 428 frequency, whether it's 528. I'll try and put a couple of examples down in the comments below, but you know, if you've got your favorites, you can put them down in the comments as well. You know, it's like that's what I'm trying to say. You don't have to fear the darkness because the light always has an answer for it. Always, always, always. And the light can always bring you back into balance, even if you've been exposed to something that maybe, you know, your hands have got a bit dirty in it. Okay, whether you were there or whether you were one of the people that were what Metatron is calling the moppers up, because that's what we were yesterday. We were mopping up that energy. We were dispersing it out to sea with the violet flame, etc. Okay, so that's stomach. Stamina would be our physical energy, you know. It could well be that you felt very tired in the lead up to this 11:11, okay, literally not having the stamina. But the thing with that is, okay, yes, we're going to be given some more energy for the days ahead, for what is coming. What is coming is all part of ascension. We cannot ascend as a planet until we have looked at the darkness. Okay, I pulled these two cards today. In fact, these three cards came up. I'll show them in a minute, really. But we've got differences, dark and light. We've got chaos, but that to me feels like a healing chaos. It's like when you heal the body, you often go into a healing crisis. Your body can't get better until sometimes it takes a step back. And this is all about getting off the wheel, changing the cycle, the repetitive pattern, bringing in a new cycle. Physical energy as well. I was mentioning about Kundalini. I was mentioning about the lower back. My lower back has been really bad for the whole week in the lead up to this 11/11 portal. It's still stiff. It's still tight because I haven't been able to see the chiropractor yet. But, you know, I'll get there. But I realise it's all part of this. It's like letting go of old energies, letting go of tightness, letting go of friction and constriction. You know, it wanting to open. Where is our physical energy stored? It's stored in our lower chakras, in particularly the base chakra. It's like the back chakra is getting a clear out, okay? It's getting a big clear out. And some of us have been resisting a bit in the lead up to this 11/11 work. And so we're going to allow that just to flow out now. Okay, we're just going to allow that to flow out. We'll correct that with the meditation. So that's stamina. So stomach, stamina, and then strength. What do you mean by strength, Metatron? Let me just tune into this because I think there's something that's not as obvious as just like muscles. I mean, muscles are important as well, but let me just say strength. What do you mean by strength for the 11/11? Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. He's saying the strength to carry others. What he doesn't mean by that is doing other people's work for them. You can't change anybody else. You can't make them ascend. You can't shake somebody into being awake, but you can help carry them through these times. I'm seeing some of us literally carrying others, but not in a 10 of Wands, you know, terrible, heavy burden way. Just in a very loving, I pick you up, my brother. I pick you up, my sister. I carry you over this threshold. He's saying we're also carrying our old selves over the threshold. It's the whole thing about when you face your shadows, when you face your own darkness, you don't judge it. You have to see it as a part of you. And it's almost like our old self does come with us into the new. It doesn't, but it's not the main operating system, is what Metatron is saying. It's not the main operating system. But you can't just leave your baggage somewhere over there, you know, and then it's like the road sweeper's going to come up and, you know, take that away. And I never have to look at what I did ever again, you know, in the past. It's more coming to a place of, okay, well, for example, I did that, or I said that, or I was like that. I was that type of person. And now I'm going to just gently carry that old me into the new. But the new me is the one that actually has the operating system fired up. But I have love and reverence for the person that I was. How beautiful is that? Okay. Before we get into the meditation, I also wanted just to say one other thing about darkness is, and this is the Jesus teaching, this whole thing about I don't want it to affect my vibration, okay? I don't want to go there because I don't want it to affect my vibration. I want to just stay in the light, you know, and I just want to focus on that and fluffy clouds and unicorns and all of that. Let's look at the example of Jesus. Jesus basically spent time with lepers. Jesus spent time with prostitutes. Jesus spent time with gamblers. Jesus spent time with robbers. In fact, the last moments of Jesus's life on the cross, he was between two thieves. And he said to them, I can't remember if he said to both of them or one of them, I will meet you later today in the kingdom of heaven. There was no, it was just such a, such a beautiful example. His template of what, whether you're a Christian or not, the template of what he taught is so utterly, utterly beautiful. Because he didn't judge. He saw past the sin. Sin is such an old-fashioned word. He saw past the fact that they were a leper. He saw past the fact they were a prostitute. He saw past the fact they were a gambler or a robber. One of the comments that came in yesterday on the Travis Scott video was like, why are you worried about Travis Scott? Why have you got some degree of compassion for him? And I answered, it's because I see his soul. Because I see his soul. Nobody is completely light or dark. We are dualistic beings. Certainly right now we are on planet Earth because this is a dualistic energy that we're in. Can we ultimately transcend that? Yes, but only when we've balanced it, and only when we've balanced it, and we've as a collective have decided to go into a different vibration. But that's for another day. Right now, this gateway that's being offered, the journey we're about to take together with this meditation, is linking into this beautiful painting. It's linking into seeing all of who we are, all of who we've been, walking through that gateway together, and then having the strength to be able to, the strength, the stamina, and the stomach to operate in the reality that we're in and that is coming. And that doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, the dawn breaking in our world, it can only break, the dawn breaks just before the darkest hour, is what I'm trying to say. So we go into the darkest hours and we also go into the light. 36 minutes, 36:06. 36 is the energy of the gateway. So let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of incense on. And maybe if you need to just get yourself a little bit of water, get yourself comfortable. And we will go through this together. 11:33 here. Okay. Go with the flow. That's Metatron saying to me, just go with the flow, because I don't know what's about to come. Okay. Just going to start with a few tones of sound, okay? Eleven. As we just start to wake up or awaken deeper from the slumber that we've been in, but our souls have never actually been asleep. It's just aspects of our 3D self that have wanted to stay closed, afraid, clenched, shut. But as we journey on, we trust, we flow, and we open to experience all that is within and without, above and below. We thank Spirit. We thank Archangel Metatron. We thank our guides for always being with us. We bring in the frequency of 528, the miracle zone. I'd like you to take a nice deep breath into your body, please. And then breathe out. Taking one more deep breath into the body and out. Feeling your feet on the floor. Feeling your roots going deep down into Mother Earth. Feeling her safety, her strength, her support, and her love for you. Sensing the sky above, sensing the air, the clouds, the sun, the moon, the planets, the bigger cosmos. Acknowledging and sensing the vastness of this beautiful universe that God created. Feeling the expansiveness of above, and then feeling the expansiveness of below, the earth, going deep down into the realms of crystal and gold, right into the core of our Mother. Connecting into your own body, sending your body love, sending your body compassion, sending your body strength, resilience, bringing down a beautiful ray of protection, pure gold light flowing down around you and through you, above you and below you. Gold light encasing you. Gold light illuminating you. Becoming aware of your whole body, your whole being, your whole presence. Becoming aware of all that you are and all that you have been and all that you will be. Becoming aware of yourself as a small child, a grown-up, and an elder one. Becoming aware of your past, your present, your future. Becoming aware of your light, becoming aware of your darkness. Becoming aware of your blessings and your gifts. Becoming aware of your struggles and your issues. Becoming aware of the God within and the God without. Becoming aware of your helpers. Becoming aware of your soul brothers, your soul sisters. Becoming aware of the great magnificence of this life, the multifaceted aspects of this life, the multifaceted aspects of you. With this 1111 portal before us, we thank Archangel Metatron for bringing us together as a tribe, as a community, there for each other in the good times and there for each other in the difficult times. There for each other in the ebb, there for each other in the flow, there for each other in the darkness, and there for each other in the light. At this time in our world, we have considerable contrast of growing light, of growing beauty, of growing truth, of growing purity. But we also have growing evidence of the darkness that has always been there. We ask Archangel Metatron to give us the stomach, the stamina, and the strength for what is to come, for what is already here, for the days that we are walking through, the darker hours before the dawn. And we have growing trust, growing faith that all will be well, knowing that light will win and light always has won. See yourself standing before a very large mirror. It's a very large mirror in the forest. You find yourself in the forest with soft fern underneath your feet and a huge mirror against an old oak tree. And you are invited to look into this mirror 3 times. The first time, as you approach the mirror, you are to see all of the good, all of the beauty, and all of the light that you are. See yourself now standing in front of this mirror, and into it, Metatron shows you your beauty, all the good that you have done, all the people that you have helped, all of the frequencies that you have helped transmute, all of the good deeds, all of the kind words, all of the loving gestures, all of the hands of friendship, kinship, companionship, and love that you have offered this world. It's a reflection that shows pure love and beauty and the light that you are. Really take this in and notice too how many are coming to greet you now within the reflection. Birds, animals, loved ones, ancestors, friends, lovers, all the people that you've touched in a profound way, and the love that's flown from you freely. Allow that light to illuminate you. And Metatron says, well done. A velvet throw gets put over the mirror, and you're asked to pause and take another deep breath in. Let's do that together. Take a deep breath in and out. And as you do so, the velvet throw over the mirror gets lifted up. And this time you see reflected back to you in the mirror the times where you have struggled to hold the light, times when you may have judged, times when you may have hurt somebody via word, deed, or physical action, times when you went silent, times when you lied, Times when you were greedy, you took more than you needed. Times when you betrayed yourself or another. Diminished light, struggle, difficulty. Not having maybe done as well as you would have hoped you could have done. Do not judge what you see reflected back in the mirror. Just see it as part of your experience, part of how you have handled this life so far. And then Metatron gives you a little brush, it's a paintbrush, and you're asked to put the brush and to stroke some of the reflection in the mirror. And the brush has gold sparkle paint on it. And it's as though it's got gold and it's also got pink paint on the brush. And it's as though you dab some of these hurt areas, some of these areas of shadow that you may have consciously or unconsciously created in this life. And you dab them with the energy of pink and gold. Pink is the energy of love. Gold is the colour of wisdom. Wisdom to now see that maybe that wasn't my finest hour. Maybe that wasn't how I wanted to show myself to that person, to that situation, to the world at large. Times when I turned my back, times when I didn't care. If you feel any emotion or any tears, it's okay to allow them to fall, but don't go into judgment of self. This is just another aspect of who you are, and we are all a work in progress, is what Metatron says. Metatron says, have you seen enough? And you say, yes. Thank you for showing me. And he says, what you are being shown in the mirror now is usually what is shown after death in the Akashic record. He says you now have an opportunity to merge both the good and the not so good, and to create a new palette upon which to paint the next chapter of your life. He asks you to give thanks to all that has been, all of the people that have construed, consciously or unconsciously, to give you the experiences that you've had in your life so far. Whether you feel as though you shone your light brightly at those experiences and people, or whether you feel as though you fell short of your own expectations. You are all a work in progress, Metatron says. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. The velvet throw comes down over the mirror again, but this time it is a white silk throw that goes down over the mirror. And you're asked to actually just take 3 steps back. You take 3 steps back to be able to witness and integrate the light that is going to be shone and you're going to feel when the 3rd mirror is unveiled. The 3rd mirror to be unveiled is you, your light and your shadow, coming back into balance, understanding why things have happened, not judging your lower aspects, committing to trying to do better, strive higher, go beyond what you have been up to now. And this integrated soul, this integrated human, which is you, that's going to be looking back at you, is unveiled now. The third mirror is revealed, and you see your reflection shining back at you. And you are startled at the brilliance of the light having got brighter because you've been willing and able to look at all parts of yourself. Having taken the light into the darkness, your overall frequency has expanded. You can feel your aura expanding. You can feel your consciousness expanding. There is a burst of white light that flows down around you now. White light through you, white light over you, white light behind you, in front of you, all around you. You notice that Metatron is standing behind the tree and the mirror, and he asks you to come forward, to walk through the mirror and to walk through the oak tree. And a part of you thinks that this is impossible. How can I walk through a mirror? How can I walk through a tree? You're asked to let go of any doubt that you can, and you take 3 steps forward and then 3 steps more, and you step through the mirror. There is no shattering of glass. There is a seamless transition as you merge into the mirror, you melt into the mirror, you and the mirror become one, and you step out of the other side. You take 3 steps more, and you find yourself walking through the tree. But before you come out of the other side of the tree, and truly the tree and the mirror are the gateways. They are the 1111 gateways. Before you come through the tree, you stand in the hollow of its trunk. You feel the sap. You feel the branches. You feel the roots. You feel the infinite connection to the wisdom and the life of this oak tree, the wisest, oldest tree in the forest. And then you take a step out of the tree and you realize that you have become the oak and you have become the mirror. You reflect the light. You reflect all the qualities of white light. You are able to integrate your shadow and your light, and you are born anew. There is a third gateway now appearing. The first was the mirror, walking through the mirror. The second was the tree. There's now a third gate. And this is a simple wooden structure a little bit further along in the forest. And the other side of this gateway is white and gold light. You walk up to it, you approach it, and as you walk through it, you're given ultimate protection, ultimate strength, ultimate stamina. You walk through the third gate and you come out the other side and you truly acknowledge and step into and feel and realize you are the spiritual light warrior. You always have been. Now you're here. And the world thanks you. And Mother Nature thanks you. And your family line thanks you. And the ones to come thank you. An old, wise woman comes out of the clearing in the forest, and she holds in her hands a basket. And in the basket is one gift, and it's one gift for you and you alone. And she comes up to you and she looks you directly in the eyes, and you see that her eyes are full of complete love, complete grace, complete healing. And you look directly into her eyes and you see who she is, what she stands for. She represents Mother Earth. And she offers you something from her basket. You put your hand in and you take it and you clasp it to your breast and you thank her. It's between you and it's between her. And she says, go bravely, my child. Go out from this forest into the world, having walked through the 3 gateways. Go out courageously. See what there is. Change what needs to be changed. Trust. Know we are with you. Know you are never alone. Know that all will be well. And know that the golden age is coming. You are an aspect of the golden age. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feel your feet on the floor. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. And on an out breath that's comfortable for you, open your eyes. Well done. Well done. Shall I pull us a card? That felt very, as I was channeling that, you're back now. Let's just have a little bit of Archangel Sandalphon bronze just to ground us all. And also bring in the energy of copper as well. Copper just to ground us, feeling copper at your feet. Felt very almost Alice in Wonderland-like with that mirror as I was channeling it through. Being brave enough, a bit like the Narnia thing as well. It's like being brave enough to walk through the back of the wardrobe, being brave enough to walk through the mirror. And what is required for that is curiosity. Great, beautiful card that's come out, Soul Radiance. I love that card as well on the bottom of the deck. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? That's almost like a depiction of us sitting in the middle of the tree. She is. She's between she's between 2 trees actually, but you know, it's pretty good. We were imagining that we were actually in a tree. That's a pretty good depiction of it, isn't it? It says building your world, creation, expansion, and networking. It's card number 33 as well. Christ consciousness. Soul Radiance, the Phoenix Rising. What powerful, beautiful cards those are to end with as well. This is from the Priestess of Light deck by Sandra Ann Taylor. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Keep working with the white light. This is the white Merkaba and white light spray we do sell. It's a great spray. It's probably one of the top sprays every year. So yeah, bring down that white light and have a good 11/11. But as I say, this is a timeless video. Whenever you watch it is perfect. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this video. And yeah, I just wanted to, I had to have a card from my own deck just to finish with. We have the card of air, fly free. And that's great for so many reasons, But again, it feels very much linked into we've got you. It's like Father God, we've got you. You know, as you fly free, as you expand and follow your heart's desire, we've got you. Take care, everybody. Much love. I better get this uploaded now. Bye-bye for now. Bye.